Welcome, everyone, to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. My name is Collin, and I am here today with Suzon Robbins, or Suzon if you want to be more proper about it. She's one name, like Cher.
Just like Cher.
Just like Cher.
Just like Cher.
Well, I'm glad you could be here tonight, and I'm glad you were flexible because I had no idea when I was going to get back. So appreciate that.
Did you meet any nice ladies in Des Moines?
I was with a nice lady. She's a good friend of mine, though. It's more of it's a business relationship, and we've strictly business. And I've learned that you don't want to mix those things sometimes. And
yeah, but if you're on the same page,
yeah.
But whatever's good for you.
Yeah, it's just the right thing to do. Yeah, and we're just so great as friends, though. And yeah, it was a good trip. So good short little trip, and I never got to actually spend time in Des Moines, so for more than a day.
Des Moines has never really had very much of a music scene, because I started booking bands, in '86.
Yeah,
and very, very few places. They had Des Moines Social Club and another few clubs, but it's coming up. I think Des Moines is starting to become. I think the Quad Cities is cooler, honestly, than Des Moines. But
music-wise?
Every
everywhere.
way. I think the Quad Cities is kind of a gem. And I left, in 88.
Yeah, because you left and you were... Well, tell me some of the places you were at when you left. And you grew up here, though.
I grew up in Bettendorf.
Bettendorf.
A premier shitty. Bettendorf. And when I was... I got into the Art Institute of Chicago.
Okay.
My parents said no.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they were kind of afraid for me to go to Chicago. So then I said, you know what? I'll go to New York City. And first I went to Boston, and then I went to New York City.
Okay.
And then came back, and then Chicago and Seattle.
Okay.
But came back in 99 with my husband, Southsider, Seattle, graffiti artist, hot. Looked like, there's this actor, I don't remember his name now. Red hair, blue eyes, beautiful. Anyway.
Okay. And you said Southside, when you say Southside is
Southside Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. I don't know about the Southside of Seattle. I know about the Southside Chicago.
Southside. Anyway, yeah. Southside, it was pretty interesting. I had never been to a birthday party with a bar.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I'm from Bettendorf, but we never had cocktails at a child's party. But I went out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A kid's birthday party with a bar.
A kid's birthday party with an active dice game. I remember once before he was my husband, Kevin came to me and gave me his wallet. And I said, why are you giving me your wallet? And he's like, I'm going to go find Mike, and we think he's in the crack. Like a crack house. And I'm like, what? Seattle was very different, even though I had lived in New York, but it was an immersive experience.
Okay. So where would you say your favorite big city that you lived in was?
Never. Any of them. They can all suck it. I don't want to.
You don't want anything to do with them?
No way. My dream is to live by a little water source, but not too close that I'm going to get flooded, and do a whole DIY earthship thing. Do all my own food, have a goat.
That'd be cool.
Live like that old lady in Cold Mountain. Did you ever see that movie, Cold Mountain?
No,
it was my favorite movie. Really? You've never seen Cold Mountain? With Nicole Kidman?
No.
Oh, she's hot. And Jude Law.
That is true.
And they were in love. It was such a beautiful... You have to see the movie. It's in the Civil War, set in South Carolina. Cold Mountain. Cold Mountain, where the streams are sweet as the sounds of the ladies. Cold Mountain.
I do love the Southern accent. That is one of my favorites.
I do a really good Southern accent, because I always thought, Collin, that I was weird, but then I went down to the South, and I'm like, I am Southern. Because my people came up from Savannah, Georgia. Okay. We are part of the Montgomery family. You've got this look of fear in your eyes right now. You're like... Anyway.
No, I don't know what the Montgomery family is.
Well, they were a huge, sadly, probably bad people. But
okay.
My people are from Savannah. But anyway, we're hopping around here.
My family's been in Iowa the whole time. Well, until from different areas, Germany,
Well,
Czechoslovakia.
1836, not prior. Like 1836, wasn't Davenport founded in 1836 or 42?
My family's from Muscatine, so I'm not sure when Muscatine was.
Muscatine is being highlighted on KWQC right now.
Oh, really?
About
the downtown? Or?
Yeah, well, I think they're just trying to like revitalize a little bit.
Yeah.
But about the buttons and the history and, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the bud
factor.
factor.
I'm very much into history. Anything.
Yeah. So, we'll start with, you said in 99 you moved back here. So what happened next?
Well, we were pregnant, my husband and I.
Okay.
It was me that was actually pregnant.
Yeah.
Which, and he had a brain tumor. He had a multiforme glioblastoma, which was a stage 4 brain tumor.
Is this something that was caught at a weird time, or?
Well, in January, okay. Long story short, I met my husband. He was here actually in the Quad Cities with Kevin Lonergan. He came here to paint some graffiti for the Quad City Arts. They did this gigantic David thing. And I went over to get on a guest list for one of Kevin Lonergan's raves, and I met my husband. He was sitting there playing guitar, and he was very suave, and he was a graffiti artist. And, you know, our first date lasted a week. Like, it was, I mean, we even had plans for babies, and, like, it was one of those weird things, you know, but I was, like, 26 at the time.
Yeah. Just like something out of a movie.
It really kind of was.
Yeah.
But then we broke up because he was a jealous guy. And I have a lot of guy friends. And he did cocaine. But he had promised Jesus if he ever did drugs again, he would give his life completely to Jesus. And so he went into Bible college.
Okay.
So he left in October of 98 for Bible college. And I was like, oh, damn. So I just started... like I went to the West Coast and was like visiting friends and figuring out what I wanted to do, like my next step. Because, you know, you can book bands from anywhere, because that's what I was doing, booking tours. And so I was on a hill in Calistoga, California, and all of a sudden I felt like he needed me. And I got into my Isuzu Amigo. First of all, I was straight edge for many years, so I had just imbibed in some marijuana on a hill in Calistoga, California, and it was very good. And so I was trying to come down this gigantic hill, which was not a hill, it was a fucking mountain. These people lied to me just to get me up this thing. Anyway, they were friends, and I felt like a jolt that he needed me. And everybody thought I was tripping. They're like, you're tripping. You're freaking out. And I'm like, he needs me. And so I was trying to get down this hill, and I was like falling, like seriously, I was like a tumbleweed down this hill. And I got into my car and started driving on I-80. And when I got to Nebraska, I found out he was in the University of Iowa Hospital with a brain tumor, but they didn't know how bad it was at that time. So I drove right to the hospital, and I got there, and he was going into the surgery. They didn't think that he was going to live through the surgery because he had it blocked his cerebral spinal fluid. So his whole brain was filled with fluid, but he came out, and I stayed with him from that moment on. I never left his side. I took care of him. I wasn't getting sex at all. And I'm a very active girl.
Yeah. But
very active.
But you're being loyal. Yeah.
Loyal. I was trying all the time. He'd wake up. Yeah, I went to the hospital anyway. We were in the hospital for 3 weeks, and then he did radiation, and then we went back out to Seattle, because he wanted to be with his family and his friends and everything, which is how I immersed myself into the Southside Seattle culture.
Okay.
And it was cool, you know. His mom was really neat. Her name was Michael. She was 25% Lakota. Her grandmother was full-blooded Lakota, so I don't know how.
I don't know Lakota. Yeah. You got to give me more specific for me.
Lakota Indian?
Lakota Indian, okay.
Native American.
Native American, okay, got it.
So they were from Idaho. So the grandmother was sent to a white school and had to change her name to a white name, which was Merry Christmas anyway. So Noble, I think, is I don't know what percentage. We don't know any of that. But his mother was really cool, and she lived with this Japanese woman named Toyoko, who she took in because Toyoko's husband had died. So it was cute. It was it was a cool situations.
Yeah.
But anyway, I made him move back when we found out we were pregnant.
So you didn't want to raise a kid there?
Well, actually, I should tell you how it happened that we got married. We went to the hospital to the oncologist, and they're like, "You're going to be sterile after chemo, and so if you want to do reproductive banking, you should."
Yeah.
And which I don't think that was very smart because they knew what kind of tumor he has. That John McCain had the same tumor. Nobody lives through those. You have the blood-brain barrier. No one lives.
Yeah.
And obviously, we didn't have the best insurance. So definitely, you're not going to live if you don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
But
even if you do.
Yeah. So on the way home from the oncologist, he said, I should just marry you and knock you up. And I was like, yes. I just wanted to get laid, Collin. I didn't know if I really wanted to breed, but we got married 3 days later on a hillside in Seattle with like nobody there, and his mother was taking pictures with a camera with no film. So there's like not even a picture. And we started reproductive banking the next Monday, and they pulled us in and they said his dudes were dead, and that like they were very lackluster, and that we would have to do IVF. And I was like, oh darn, we're not gonna,
Yeah.
Oh darn, and I got pregnant in 2 weeks. With our son now, who's 23. And
so they were not accurate.
They weren't. It was weird. So and everybody was like super surprised that I got pregnant so fast. And we did have samples. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Because he talked to his pastor about it, and he was like, you're not allowed to look at porn. So I was all, and then
you had to motivate him.
Yeah, but we were laughing more than it was motivational. Like we had to leave and go get lunch.
That's funny.
And we came out and people were like giggling at us. We were out of control. We always had so much fun together.
So was he a funny guy? What was his sense of humor?
Oh my God, he was a fun guy. He was brilliant and kind of like a nomadic guy. He liked to travel. But he was in like the
most of those graffiti artists are nomads.
And he had some like really nice pieces that the city of Seattle paid him to do.
Oh yeah.
So I took Noble to that. But his mother died when Noble was like 2 years old, and we haven't really been back, and so there's no family there. And anyway, I'm glad we have Noble because Noble is like a perfect. He just left yesterday,
Yeah. How was that?
It was awesome. It was really great. It was nice to have special time with him without his husband.
Okay, I was like, he's
married,
okay.
and his husband lives in Iowa, or his family's from Iowa City.
Okay.
So they live in Charleston, and anyway, it was really great. We had a good time. We went to the zoo.
You've done some stand-up, haven't you? Just here and there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my dream. I got it. I got into Second City.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then life happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, honestly, I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it anymore?
I don't think so. It seemed, to see you guys with your craft, you guys are so fucking serious about it. Like, I can't put that much thinking into it. I just want to get up and people have no idea. Like, seriously. And you, honestly, not to blow smoke up your ass, because I will never do that. But you are one of my favorite Quad City comedians because you perpetually, elevate. And I dig that.
Yeah.
You're funny.
That's why I like comedy so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that because there's not you don't like ever like hit a place where you're like, yeah. And my friend was talking to me about Jerry Seinfeld talking about like how he still like bombs.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while.
You're not going to connect with anybody. Like, it's ebb and flow.
You're never going to perfect it.
No. I think if people dig who you are, then you're
helps.
Interesting.
That helps too. If you get that crowd on your side.
Well, at Brad's memorial, everybody was so bummed out, so I thought I'd get up and tell a story, which was probably not the best. I told that story about my vagina, and then remember that. Were you there that night?
I was there, but there was a lot going on.
There was. People were laughing. I was just trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Because, I think I've always been somebody that, like, I always constantly, if I see something, like, for example, there was an elderly man. I was watching him try to get his groceries because men do not ask for help.
No.
And he was at Hy-Vee, so then he sat at the patio furniture. And I came up to him and I said, "Are you a model?" And at first he was like, what? And then eventually we were sitting down and I was like making him laugh.
Yeah.
And for me, that's all I need in life. That I made this man laugh. I got some good cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling out.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
We talked about that. Me and my friend Katie did but we talked about actually men not asking for help because I asked for help when I was out there because like it was after a little while after I couldn't figure it out and I was like but that's one thing I've learned
there's
more like as I get older I don't have the ego like a lot of guys do. I just never
because you're evolved. You've transcended yourself.
That.
You know, you've done the steps with your sobriety, your spirituality, and you've evolved. There's work to be done with ego, and so many people.
And sometimes it's way quick. You know how much time people waste because their ego, like not asking for help.
Yeah,
so much time. And I was like,
ask for help. Definitely.
Yeah, we rented an Airbnb, and like they was supposed to be a key fob and a lockbox, and they didn't tell us where the lockbox was.
It wasn't on the door.
It was an apartment complex. And I was like, where are they gonna put this? And apparently, it was in this cabinet, which I never would have figured out until I asked some random dude that was coming out, like checking his mail. And I was like, "Do you know where the lockbox are?" Yeah, he's like, nobody ever knows where they are. They're down here. I'm like, oh. I never would have looked there.
I love interacting with everybody. Like I literally interact with everybody I encounter. To each his own. And my journey is to. My mom always said it was to bring sunshine. I think I completely came to this life just for my mom to bring sunshine, because her families, they were uptight. Yeah. Sad people with ego issues.
And keep it all bottled up and.
They're gonna get ass cancer, Collin. Ass cancer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's too bad.
Bottle it up.
Well, when did you said you did, okay, so take things back. What you were doing as far as a career, you were doing booking. That's what you did.
In 1986, I started doing punk rock shows in the Quad Cities. And then I had a little club called Uncle Roscoe's Polo Club that I booked. Okay. Which was a phenomenal all-age. It's kind of like the Village Theater, which is ironically also a Davenport Turner's Hall.
Okay.
Yeah. And which is weird. I got this Davenport Turner fetish, which I wanted to buy the Turner Hall. It was just for sale, but it's really bad. Not a great neighborhood. Anyway, so I did that. I was booking the East Coast by the time I was 16. I was booking the West Coast by the time I was 17. And then I booked nationwide tours. And so I worked for like Red Decibel Records, which was out of Twin Tone in Minneapolis. So I worked on Nicolette in that office, at the Twin Tone office. I worked for Cleopatra Records, Metal Blade Records. I've done a lot of things for a lot of bands. Some of the bigger bands I booked, not that you asked.
No, I want to know.
Millions of Dead Cops I booked for 4 years. Right now they're touring with GBH. They're all very old. Dave Dichter is sober again, so I'm hoping that they get through the tour. They tour continually. They're all over the world. They tour. I wasn't their international agent. I was just their American agent. Yeah. But and a lot of like industrial. One of the guys from Thrill Kill Cult, Buck Ryder, he branched off and did this group called Electric Hellfire Club. And I was their agent for 4.5 years. And they were a huge band. Huge band. They toured with Marilyn Manson.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I mean, I had a great career. I was a publicist. Actually, my agency mate that I worked with, Kelly Way, now runs the Metro in Chicago. And I could have been retired by now, but I chose love.
Yeah, I chose
love.
So when did you said started doing matchmaking? When did that happen?
Well, when I came back here, it was a total fucking fluke. Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
I don't know who's listening.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry if I'm not elevating with my words.
I put a parental advisory on everything.
Oh, good. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
In 2001, Noble was like a baby because my husband, he died obviously when I was 6 months pregnant. Did we get to that part?
We did not specify when he passed away.
He died 6 months when I was 6 months pregnant. So basically, he knocked me up and then came back as our son. I'm just joking. I don't know. It could be true. But I was back here, and I booked, like I've always booked bands. So what am I going to do for a living? And I didn't know. And I was just I was shell shocked. And I just knew that since I had just come back to the Quad Cities after being gone for nearly, 10 years, I wanted to meet friends. So I started speed dating at the Bettendorf Library. And the first night that I did it, all the TV stations showed up because I was the first person in Iowa to do speed dating, which was a huge thing out east.
Yeah.
And I called myself the 7-minute Yenta because the Yenta is a Jewish matchmaker, which I'm not part of the tribe. I wish I was.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm all like 98% Northern European with like 4% Neanderthal. Like my people were in caves for a long time. I have no spiciness. Yeah. So I lost my train of thought there again.
No. So you did your first.
Oh, my first. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you said
everybody
it was a
came,
big deal. Yeah.
And I did that for 18 years.
Okay.
I was a matchmaker. I married off 152 couples.
What's your success rate?
10 divorces. That's it, and 2 deaths, or 3 now. Somebody just died.
Any murders?
Yeah, and then I have 9. What'd you say?
Any
murders? Oh my God, no!
I'm joking.
I was really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really it was I called it my ministry.
Yeah.
Because I was a Christian until 2012.
Yeah.
And so it was really important for me to do it. And I loved my people, but I wasn't working on myself. I was just giving it all. But it allowed me to stay home and be the room mother. I homeschooled Noble for a while. And it allowed me to be the mother because I knew I couldn't go back to booking bands with a baby. With no dad. I had married a man with no money. My family was furious. I was told I made my bed. I needed to lay in it. So they would babysit him on Friday nights for speed dating because I was making money. And I was very appreciative of that. But I didn't. Otherwise, I didn't have much of a life. It was just speed dating. Taking care of parents, speed dating. It was just...
How many people would you usually get at these speed dating events?
10 to 15 women, 10 to 15 men, always equal.
Okay.
And then I'd rotate them around. And, I would do a little stand-up in the beginning to kind of loosen them up.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of awkward.
It was. And I really did, and then afterwards I would take them to a local establishment to bring more dollars to the people. Like, we used to go up. There was a great...
So you'd have a deal with somebody?
I didn't have a deal. I should have. Because, a lot of times I'd call and people were like, I can't come. I don't have money. I'd say, well, you're in this group. I asked you to come. So just come. Don't worry about it. Right? I would gift people all the time. And then afterwards, I'd be drinking water with lemon, and I'd see them ordering cocktails and apps. And I'm like, what? So, yeah, I didn't have a deal with anybody, but I brought a lot of business to local places.
Okay.
There used to be a place Trattoria. Tiramisu, the little Italian place across from K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, and then we'd all go out, and then a lot of women, met a lot of their best friends.
Okay.
I actually had a brother and sister who were separated at birth meet each other at speed dating.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was weird. How they figured that out, I have no idea. Because then people would have to go through me to exchange numbers.
Oh, so yeah, it wasn't weird.
Yeah. And then I don't know. It was interesting. I met a lot of good people. It was all word of mouth. So at the end, I would always say, if people ask you and they're dicks how this was, just tell them you met a lot of people that lives in their mother's basements. I didn't want, I had a great group of people. I really did.
So how did you find the people that, yeah.
Well, it was word of mouth, but everybody knew about me.
Because you weren't just going to have so much of both.
And then if anybody wanted to Google me, Suzon Esser.
Okay.
You'll find all the press for that. For 7-minute Yenta. People would find me, and then to get men, women have no idea how I hustled. I would go up, if I saw you, I'd go up to you and be like, "Are you Julie's husband?" And then you'd say, "Oh no, I'm not married." And then I'd be like, "Oh my God, how are you?" I would go up and find men. Recruit completely. Because there are not a lot of great men. This is why I'm really confused as to why you're single. Because honestly, I would be a matchmaker if there were better men in the Quad Cities. Yeah. They're not. sadly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we don't have enough time to explain why I'm single, but there's been a lot of...
Well, it's good to be picky.
Yeah, I'm particular now, but
Yeah.
That hasn't always been the case.
You need to meet, like, my biggest clientele were teachers, nurses, and engineers. I don't know if it's because they were able to be cerebral, you know, for 7 minutes. I don't know, but I think you need to find a nice teacher. I think, ladies, that somebody out there knows a really nice teacher, and he is Iowa Professional Matchmaker approved.
Hey, we'll have to put that in my bio.
I think so. Ladies, if you're interested, find me. Suzon Robbins on Facebook.
I think you're the only Suzon Robbins, probably.
Yep, probably.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that happened later in life, where you said you were diagnosed as to be on the spectrum, and you weren't until how old were you?
48.
48.
48.
And how did that diagnosis come about?
Through therapy.
Through therapy?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, what?
How many sessions did it take for them to be like...
2.
2. Jeez.
2. But, you know, everybody thinks like I'm outgoing. And, you know, I always say I'm an introvert disguised as an extrovert. But honestly, you'll find me out if I'm making money. Like if I'm doing a social thing, people are like, I've partied with you. I'm like, no, you've paid to get into my shows or done one of my parties, but trust me, I'm not partying.
Yeah,
I'm hustling it, so I can lay in your money naked later. Have I done that? Maybe once or twice. I don't know.
Once or twice.
That's really dirty.
It's okay. But no, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, people think, because you're so outgoing, people think you're like out there partying with them. And
and I was straight edge, and then
until I was
like 22.
Yeah.
A few times, when I was 12, I ate all the fruit out of the neighbor's graduation punch.
Oh, you didn't know? I
didn't know. I just ate all the fruit, and then I threw up.
Oh yeah.
And so I got drunk, I guess, at 12. Yeah. They found me passed out in a sandbox. They were like, "What happened, Susie?" Well, but yeah, a lot of stuff happened as a child. I got locked in a closet in 2nd grade by my 2nd grade teacher. What's it called? Like a paper closet at Grantwood Elementary in Bettendorf.
On purpose?
Yeah. He put me in there with the book. He left the light on, but there was a cutter in there. Things I think of, I stuck my head in 1st grade in the desk, and the fire department had to come. Just weird stuff that was happening, but it was always Susie. And it's just Susie. Yeah. It's Susie, and then I would, people would try to, I would say things that would not be appropriate, and people would be like, Susie, always Susie. And then I didn't know. Which is good that I have the safety word now, and that's kind of funny to some people, but for me, it's appreciated. My friend Eric Sorensen, the congressman, when we were on TV together, if I was ever going off script, he'd be like, I forgot. He knows my word. People do.
Yeah.
I have a video of my son. I was singing at the zoo on the train, and I was singing, anyway, and he was apricotting me. And which I stopped immediately because apricot is the safety word.
Yeah.
I gotta stop.
It's like you're getting out of line.
But the diet stuff, right now I just eat cheese, nuts, and cucumbers. Weird stuff.
Let's go through weird.
It's not weird. I guess it's just me. But now that I know, I can work on things. Because before, it wasn't that I didn't understand, peripherally. Did I say that right? Peripherally.
Oh, I hate that word.
Anyway.
Peripherally.
But now I understand a little bit more of why I feel the way I do in certain situations.
Okay.
I just didn't.
People or just yourself or both or
I love people and I like being by people, but sometimes I think maybe I come across as crass when I'm not meaning to be crass.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Or rude, which I don't know. Would you ever think I was rude?
No.
Somebody just called me rude, and I was like, really?
No.
I don't think so. I I don't know. I'm just, I just treat people the way I want to be treated, and
Yeah, the old golden rule.
Do unto others.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hot flash.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
I don't know how much that'll pick up on the mic. We'll see.
Oh God, can you imagine? It's like.
So, and you said the tick started after that?
No. I have a tick that started, when Kevin was sick.
Okay.
And it's like a
Of
gigantic
stress or
something. Yeah. It's a gigantic. It sounds like a hiccup, but it's like it's really loud.
It's really loud.
It really, and I don't know it's coming. I loved it when I had a mask on, because people didn't know it was me. And I'd be like, "What?" But kids have been like, I've heard kids say, "Mom, is that a puppy?" And the mom's like, "Shut up." And then I'll say, "I'm sorry, I have a tick," and then, or sometimes I say I've been drinking all day or something to like.
Lighten the mood. Yeah.
But it is embarrassing, and it is when I'm on stage, it doesn't come out, which is weird. Well, it's an oddity market. It's the Eclectic Market at Skylark. May 28th.
May 28th.
Yeah. 24 vendors. I have a European taxidermy woman. I have 4 oddity vendors, 2 vinyl vendors. Johnny Clooney, Death Stitch clothing is going to be there.
The stuff you wouldn't find.
Oh no, you'll never find this stuff ever. And we've been doing this for a year. I have at
How's
Skylark.
It been going?
What?
Has it been picking up?
It's huge. It's always been huge. Everybody's making bank. Although last week or the last market, I make stuff out of spent shells for bullets. Bullets stuff. I make peace signs out of stuff. It's like free brass. Have you never seen what I make?
I think so. You'll have to show me.
Suzon.shop on Instagram if anybody wants to check it out. But yeah, I brought a bunch of peace signs with bullets and put them all over my table. I had bullet earrings, and people were not even coming to my table. I sold little at my market. So the mentality of my market is not that of people that appreciate the irony of bullets on a peace sign, but we have a lot.
I think it's clever.
A lot of the burlesque people, of the burlesque performers.
The Burleys, as some call them. The Burleys, as some.
The Burleys, yeah. All the cute girls. I really feel like now that my son, he left at 21, I feel like my life is really blossomed because I was, a full-time mom, and now I can go out and know things and meet people, and I really I haven't left the house.
I wish you could do the matchmaking thing again. I could use some help there because I am not getting back on the dating apps. I will tell you.
I'm on all the dating apps.
Really?
Did you see the picture I used?
Yeah, that was funny as shit.
That was funny, wasn't it?
I saw it while I was driving, so I didn't get a chance to really look at it. But it's great.
Thank you.
I saw the mask, and I had a good laugh.
I met a guy in Des Moines, actually, online, and it really seems like the perfect match for me. He sends me all the stuff he finds in the garbage. So I was like, the last guy I was with would not even take me to Goodwill, even if we drove by. He was so stuck up. I don't know why I was with him.
Yeah. I don't know where I was, but I was either walking or driving somewhere, and I saw that picture, and I was like, that's funny.
You'd hit that, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
You're like, no, I would not. But I found that in a garbage, actually. Yeah. I enjoy, that is, look, it's a Tinder. It really is my Tinder. Does anybody want to see it? It's in my hot tub. I wear it. And then somebody wrote, Han's son, Christian, said I like the teeth. And little does he know, those are my real teeth. I got rabbit teeth. I think he thought they were some fake teeth, but those are mine.
I think it's just the way
it's
out, and then you can't see your bottom ones very well.
Yeah, you can't. It's weird. I haven't been getting many Tinder hits lately. But then I never swipe right. Never. I stay on all the apps. I do have some people that I do things for. Right, I can be bought matchmaking wise, but I'm not cheap. I'm not doing the let's help America out anymore. Right. Let's help Suzon out. I'm living in Grey Gardens.
Yeah.
My house is I've got a speed bump in my kitchen right now. A literal speed bump. It goes, I had a leak under my sink, and I had plastic bags. Never do that. The plastic bags kind of I didn't see the leak because it was the way it was going, but it went under the subfloor, and I have no idea. So now I'm not going to be able to give so much away. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with my subfloor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My old dogs, they keep falling. They're like, they go up and then they come down, and then one just slides.
You have 2 dogs, right?
Yeah.
They're both old?
Yep. I love them, but
How
every
old-
night
how old
we're
we
going to
talking
bed.
here?
I'm
Over
like
10, right?
16 and 15, and every night I'm like, if you see the light, I want you to go towards it, and just know, I love you, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, because
Just go towards the light, because
that's a long.
it is, and they're both now like diapers. Do you know how much I spend on diapers a month?
On dog diapers?
Dog diapers. I can't go anywhere. I can't travel because they've been kicked out of the kennel. True story. There was 3 of them. There was a mother, her daughter, and the daughter and the brother. They hooked up when they were 11 months old. Anyway, and that's how I got George Washington. And that's the grandson. So now it was, I always said it was like 2 single mothers, or we were 3 single mothers raising our kids in the house. Me and Noble, Cleo and Alice and George.
Jeez.
3 single mothers. So they're my family. But, and I love them. I don't want them to suffer.
Yeah.
And George is getting to be a dick to his grandma. Like, he'll be laying there and all of a sudden, like, just freak out for no reason. Like, he glitches in his brain. So I'm really worried that he's going to do something to her. And, that's not cool. So.
Yeah, he's starting to, like, get, like, dementia or something. I don't know.
Dementia or something.
Dogs can get dementia.
He ate some edibles.
Ooh.
But he was already glitchy, but I think the edibles compounded it. He ate 100 milligrams. So that was like the worst night of my life.
That's a lot.
It was bad.
That's a lot for a person.
It fell out of the freezer. And I saw him grab it, and I was running after him.
What was it?
It was a chocolate pussy.
Chocolate.
He ate my chocolate pussy. It was 100 milligram chocolate pussy. And
well, first of all, chocolate, dog, bad.
Well, dark chocolate. Oh. Dark chocolate. So I called his vet, Angie Penrod, who lives in Charleston. Thank God. She's retired. But she was one of the... Anyway, she told me, get some peroxide. So I'm in the front yard, like, putting peroxide in the fucking dog's mouth. He won't throw it up. So now I'm holding him, and I can see him. It was horrible. I was crying the whole night. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This happened to you, but, like, he grabbed it so fast.
So fast.
I didn't even know, like, it had fallen. Honestly, I was sitting there peeing, and I look, and I saw it in slow motion, and I got up, my panties down around my waist, running after the dog. Then slipped on the bump and went down. Slipped on a piss pad and just went down, and then I just knew I'm in for a roller coaster. Yeah. It was horrible, but he lived, and is fine.
Did he enjoy it, you think?
No, I think it was horrific. I think he was seeing demons. It was horrible. Oh, I held him. It was horrible. And then he vomited in his bed, and his bed had to be thrown away because I'm not good with vomit.
He had to be violently high.
Like Noble once threw up, and I threw up on top of him. Like he was.
Can't deal with puke.
I cannot deal with puke, blood, pus. But zits I can. But
yeah. That never really bothered me too much. I have a pretty strong stomach. Like, that stuff doesn't gross me out that much.
Totally grosses me out.
I probably, if I cared anything about, like, learning, like, any type of science or biology, I probably would have gone, like, like the doctor route or nurse route or something.
I could see you.
But I don't. I'm not into it. It just
they need RNs really bad.
I know they do. Actually, if I was going to do anything in the medical field, it would be a therapist. But that also requires...
Well, you have a 4-year degree already, right?
Yeah, it would just be a master's.
Do it.
I've thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know what you do for a living, but I mean, you don't tell me, but like, I don't even want to live with you. I just want to be married because when you die, I want to be protected. I already was left with $3 and 6 months pregnant. I'm not going to do it again. I'm 52 years old.
Yeah.
I'd like to get married and share bills with somebody, right?
Yeah.
50-50. Let's do this. I own a house in Bettendorf.
Yeah.
I'm fun.
Yeah. I knew you'd be a fun guest to have. That's why I had you on. And there's just so much we could talk about.
There is so much that we
when
could
you
talk about.
You talked about the level of. You said you don't want it. You're not sure if you want to do matchmaking here, or you don't want to do matchmaking here because of the quality of men. And how have you gauged that?
Just
observation?
I just don't have the energy to solicit.
Got it.
Maybe that should be.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to hustle men anymore. Not for matchmaking.
Not for matchmaking.
Just joking. No, I just don't want to. I don't want to be responsible. Honestly, I'm really enjoying since my son left. I ran after his U-Haul the day that he left. It took people to separate us. We were both crying and holding each other. But now I love it. I love being by myself. I'm not responsible for anybody. I don't have to make any, I love to take care of people like I did his, that kid left with so much shit. And I did his laundry and I was so happy to have him. But now that he's gone, I like having my space and.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want a pension or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
No, I get it. It's not cheap to just survive anymore.
My mortgage is cheap. But I've owned the house since 2001. And I was pissed because I had no credit. Because I lived my life like little house on the prairie. Yeah. Pa Ingalls always said cash on the barrel. So I always paid cash for everything. But, at 29, my parents had a cosign and they would only cosign in Bettendorf. But I paid for the whole thing myself, not a penny from my parents. So that I was pissed because I wanted a different house, but now I'm like, oh great, because my house has tripled in Bettendorf now. So
yeah,
not a bad investment.
I only got mine almost 5 years
Good
ago.
For you.
It's already worth 30 or 40% more.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts.
You know what Jay-Z says? It's all I don't. It freaks me out to see all these people with so everything I wear is used. I never buy new clothes unless I know it's American made and not made by a slave. I've been like this since I was 16 when I found out about what was happening in Latin America and all the people that have been, that are getting paid pennies for nothing,
Yeah.
I drink fair trade coffee. I wear used clothes. But the point of that story is I lost it.
You were going to say something about Jay-Z.
Nope. I'm just saying that everybody wants to wear names on them and
Yeah, I don't care.
And they're spending all this money on designer purses, which mean nothing. But JC is saying you have to own real estate. They're trying to tell people you need to buy land because that's the only thing that you can get in this country that's going to be worth anything is some land or a nice cave.
Yeah.
You might need it. I don't know. Things could fall down.
Yeah, property, land.
What do you want to do in the apocalypse? Do you want to live?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? I don't. I want to be popped right away and made into jerky.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Seriously, I cannot live. I will not be able to live in the apocalypse. I do not eat things from cans. Going back to the Spectrum thing, there would be nothing for me to eat, and just make me jerky. It's got THC in it. Maybe extra delicious. I'll chill people out. You remember me as you're eating my thighs or my fat ass.
Survive. Yeah. You'd help other people survive.
You could.
Yeah, I would want to survive.
I don't.
And
because you know about the dollar right now.
It's not good.
People have no idea. People are not even paying attention.
No.
And shit could just any minute,
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, I'm like, thank you, God, universe, for my coffee, for my house, for my water. You know, thank you. And my first bong. I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
The dollar. Ooh.
Everything's precarious right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very weird, questionable society we live in right now.
It's always been bad. It's been way worse. People are like, "Oh, it's getting worse." No, it's not, because
It's
now
been worse.
Oh, it's been way worse. I mean, look at all the stuff that they did, in Memphis and all throughout the South, and look at the West, the pioneers. Look at the Mormon Church, John Lee Doyle, who was one of Brigham Young's right-hand man. They pretended they were Native Americans and slaughtered a wagon train coming into Utah. I mean, everybody has always ran scams. There's always been a 50-50. It's, yin and a yang. Mm-hmm. Just that people need to realize that you have to keep being the yin if you want to fight the yang. Don't give in to the yang.
So that's your public service announcement for everyone.
Don't give in to the yang.
Don't give in to the yang. So when you moved back here, you started doing the matchmaking stuff. When was it where you decided, I don't want to do this matchmaking stuff anymore?
My mom, who was my best friend and honestly my soulmate, and I know I said I really do feel like I incarnated for her. Because she was on birth control pills for 6 months with me before they knew that she was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like a ninja baby. And they wanted 2 kids. And then 8 years later, I came. I found that story out at Ponderosa at the Sunday bar. My sister decided to ruin the Sunday bar at Ponderosa for me and told me that story. I was like, what? I wasn't wanted? Because my brother and sister did not ever like me. And my sister killed herself in 2003. And I have a brother who I think is still alive. I don't know. He's in Bendorf.
Oh, you haven't ran into him either?
Mm-mm. The universe knows what we need. Truly, I believe that. But I just...
Yeah, because that's wild that you haven't ran into him. So
I have an aunt and uncle, too. I never run into anybody. Thank God. Because my parents died. My mom died in 2015, and then my dad died 7 months later.
Oh, wow.
And I did hospice for both of them. I took care of them, and... I would come over in a big tutu, a pink tutu, and like just make them laugh because they were, my mom had COPD from smoking cigarettes, and my dad had kidney cancer, probably because he like threw Roundup with his bare hands. He was from Eldridge. He was interesting. He was an interesting cat.
Yeah.
They both were, Chuck and Linda. My parents have been thanked on more albums than I have because the bands would stay at their house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Nate from the Foo Fighters stayed when he was in Christ on the Crutch. They played at Uncle Roscoe's. So Nate stayed with my parents for 3 days, and my mom did their laundry and they fed him. And Nate loves the Civil War, and my dad loves the Civil War. So they were really into the Civil War, and they were talking about it. And my parents, I don't know if my dad was proud of me, but I was really proud when he called me and he said, "Is Nate on the Tonight Show?" And I turned it on, and he was in the Foo Fighters, and that's when I was like, "Oh, yeah, Dad, that's Nate." And he was like, "Oh, he's in the Foo Fighters." And then, I don't know. That was kind of cool. They worked all my doors.
Oh, that's
cool. My parents
cool.
said, yeah, because you can't trust anybody with your door.
My dad worked the door one time for one of my comedy shows.
That's so cool. Oh, guess what I'm doing June 16th? You're the first person to be told this. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Stage 2 reunion. DJ Shane Brown, Skylark, 7 o'clock, June 16th.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Well, Shane Brown, he is a huge DJ in the Quad Cities, and like all of us oldsters know him.
Okay.
But he DJ'd at Stage 2. And Stage 2 was like our teen club.
Okay.
I was on the original board in 1985.
Oh.
Yeah. But we're not going to have Tombstone Pizza because they used to sell Tombstone Pizza by the slice.
That's hilarious.
And all you could drink pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like flowing heavy. Like you were like, everybody was hopped up on sugar.
Yeah.
It was so fun. That was a fun place, and I tried to do the teen club, at Skylark. And
well.
Oh my God, dude, I lost my ass. I had 4 exchange students that were on my guest list, and then 3 young country girls that were friends of the family, which were lovely. They all had a blast, and to watch them all dance was fun. And I had made like a mocktail Like I'd studied. I had made these apple cider mocktails with like rimmed sugared.
Yeah, glasses and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to make it really cool, but as the kids, I had kids from all the high schools passing out flyers. Everybody was laughing at people that they were passing out flyers. Like nobody wanted to go to a teen club. Like really, like good music. I guess they would rather drive around and go into abandoned houses and
times I talked to my last guest is a middle school teacher, and he just talked about how they're just this is the kid, this is them all the time on their phones, and
they don't listen.
They that's how they communicate for the most part,
because they know what they're coming into.
It's
they need to find something to disable the signals. I don't know, block it or tasers. I don't know. I don't have an answer. It's sad though.
Well, his thing was like just at school, because he's trying to teach and these kids are busting out their phones, and he's like, they don't need to have their phones. They should check them in to their locker and have to lock them up,
or have a bag that they all can go into. And if you see somebody's phone, they take away. But you can't, because I've had my friends who actually worked at Bettendorf get assaulted. Some kid punched her because she took his phone. I don't know. I would not want to be a teacher right now.
No.
But in that sense, though, I'm going to, I don't know. I have a good rapport with kids, but I'm not like a soft kid. Like I'll be like, yo, this is what's happening. And kids listen to me. Oh, it's pretty popular on the field trips.
They like honesty. I mean,
I think and real.
Just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm as real as they come.
Yeah, you want authenticity, and not just. Yeah, I don't have. It was cool getting a perspective from a middle school teacher nowadays. I was like, middle school's already weird. Like that time period is already just.
I don't know. I made a Boy George Latchhook. I was going to marry him. But I found out I was gay, so that wasn't going to happen. And then Michael Jackson, that didn't happen, but I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone well.
He died on my birthday. Michael Jackson. And Farrah Fawcett.
Jeez.
You know Farrah Fawcett?
I know the name, but I can't.
Charlie's Angels?
Okay.
She died of anal cancer because she probably kept her emotions inside.
Ooh.
You got to let them out.
Gotta let them out.
Let them out. Let them out.
What else do we talk? Oh, the Eclectic Market. How did that start?
Well, I make a bunch of stuff. I was with Abernathy's for 10 years from the time they started, and I had my own section in the store called Suzon.
Okay.
And I make some stuff that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
So where am I going to sell it, right?
Yeah.
Grasshoppers and Leclerc, I don't think they want like vintage porn ad matches, right?
Yeah.
So I had to like make my own thing, and my friend Tara Colby and I started something at the Village Theater couple years ago called Gorilla Fleazilla, and that went well. And then Noble left, and I had a little bit of a nervous breakdown. And then I came back, and then I started working for Justin at Skylark. So I just did my own thing at Skylark, and it's been well received. I have waiting lists. I switch out the vendors so that everybody gets a chance to make money. I feel like I've got hair on my lip.
I can't see it.
Okay.
No, I don't see it. That is an annoying feeling.
So the market's great, and I'm so happy about the market that I'm so thankful that I can pay my mortgage and.
Yeah. So are you a believer in karma then?
I might not believe it instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like maybe your next life. Like honestly, why would anybody want to repeat shit? Get it right this life. Learn your lesson. Don't repeat it. Keep moving forward. And maybe
don't dwell on it.
People dwell on it.
Yeah,
but the next life maybe is when you get, your payback. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll come back as the donkey at the zoo. Can you imagine? He was probably like a Wall Street dude.
It's probably a Wall Street dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's a donkey at the zoo. Or the wombat. I don't know. They had a wombat that was like losing its mind. I felt really bad. I made a video. I was like, I'm coming back for you later, little buddy. Which is a true story. And we can end with this one because it's kind of good.
Yeah.
I had an ex-boyfriend who woke up and there was a monkey on him in his bedroom.
Okay. Do tell.
2 kids from the Quad Cities, 2 punk rockers, broke into the Niabi Zoo and stole a monkey. And the monkey's name was Einstein. And people can look this up in the Quad City Times. They were high. They jumped the fence. They stole a monkey. They brought it to Tony's house, let it go, and shut the door. And Tony was sleeping and woke up, and there was a monkey on him. And he thought he was tripping because he had done like a lot of psychedelics. But the monkey was true. And like there was like a lot of monkey screeching. And then they had to take the monkey back because the monkey needed, like, they got arrested. It was...
Oh, yeah.
You can't just go steal a monkey.
How big was the monkey?
I mean, it was like one of those black monkeys
fully
with the white. Yeah, it was a bigger monkey. It wasn't like a baby monkey. It's like, I never even snuck out of the house.
So
I never did anything naughty.
That's so funny, though.
Yeah.
I did some...
Steal a monkey?
I did some stupid stuff, but that is next level.
I never did any stupid stuff. I never wanted to disappoint my parents.
I didn't either, but I did.
I want to be really naughty.
Later in life, you can do it, and
I can do anything I want now.
That the freedom of being single, no kids.
I'm eating meat naked, not even utensils. You should see me.
Yes.
Just juices all over my titties. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Although the dogs, they get kind of anxious. They're like, "What?" I'm just joking. Anyway, I'm out of control. That coffee's kicking in.
Coffee's kicking
simultaneously, and I'm having a hot flash.
Oh wow!
Good Lord, I think it's because I'm near you.
That happens. I have that effect on people.
Yeah, and I hope this isn't loud.
I don't know. We'll see.
I hope not.
We'll see.
How can you edit that out? This is a Japanese silk fan.
That's nice.
Yeah. I do love a fan.
Where'd you find that?
I have a collection of fans.
Really?
Yeah. I have a collection of everything. And people have often called me a hoarder. Well, guess who didn't call me a hoarder this time? Because my son, that bougie little homo, he had a complete freak out. I gave him a cocktail set. I said, that cocktail set is worth $350. It was 8 8-ball glasses, and they're lined with 24 karat gold. And I hear all of a sudden, "Oh my God, Mom, they're $500." And I'm like, well, if you have those, you're going to have the ice bucket that comes with it. That's $125. Then the stirrer. And by the time he left, he had $1,000 bar service. And I bought his husband's very Catholic, so I bought him some like really old relics from like 1880. And I got them an 1846 map from Iowa. So they had their whole car packed. And then he went through my vinyl because he went to Ragged Records and bought a new record player. Just walks in and just pays, just with his debt, And he went through my vinyl, and I was like, you can have whatever you want. And I came out, and he had my Jello, Jello Biafra, the singer for the Dead Kennedys. Jello Biafra gave me this picture disc. And he had it, like he was going to take it. I'm like, the fuck you are? Put that back. Don't even touch it. That's like my most sacred thing. So my whole mommy can give you anything you want. It was like, no, don't touch
conditions.
that. Don't touch that. But he did take like quite a lot of vinyl and a lot of antiques and a lot of stuff that I've collected because I have quite, I'm selling out of my collection pretty much at the market because I'm trying to get you've never been to my house, but you should come over in a hot tub and hang out. There's so much stuff. Like I even have the garage filled and the basement because like my whole family has died. So I have like all these dead people things, but good stuff. I mean, really cool things. And I'm just selling them out of the house so I can I want to get a van and drive around, make my house like an Airbnb or something. I kind of want to do that.
I've seen so many cool videos of people converting vans.
Probably, I honestly won't be a van. It'll be like a small home, like a small RV, but like nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, not a bus. I won't do the bus.
Yeah, that's too much.
But I'd like to travel around because like in my group of friends, I have great friends now, but a lot of my friends are all over the country, so I want to go see my friends because I feel like my life ended in the 90s, and it's just starting to begin. You know, I'm ready, and I want to get on the road.
I want to explore.
But not with the dogs in diapers. So they need to go to the light. But I'm not going to kill them.
Yeah, they need to go to the light. Well, it's only a matter of time.
I think they'll live forever, honestly.
That would be...
Wow. That'd be great. It'll be so much fun. So much fun.
What kind of dogs are they?
A cockapoo, Cleopatra. Shanae James is a black cockapoo with like a little white. And they used to always run away. So she had run away, and that's when her kids hooked up. Her daughter Alice, and Noble named the one male puppy that we kept Usay. Do you know what that name is?
What it means?
Saddam Hussein's son's name. My kid is like 8, and he's like, let's name him Us. No, my kid had like, in 4th grade, I just brought it out. He had like Russian club. We used to call him Baby Mussolini all the time. Thanks a lot for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, it was good
my
talking
first
to you.
podcast.
First podcast. I'm glad I was able to do that. And now you owe me a matchmaking gig. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I've told girls about you. Not guys. I said guy, you're like, bitch, no.
Like, nah, not a...
Yeah, no.
No ounce.
I have. I will find you somebody.
Hey, I got, in the meantime, I got stuff to do to stay busy, so.
Yeah, you do.
No rush.
You're working on yourself.
Yeah.
So right now, and I use this analogy all the time, you're working on your soil. Mm-hmm. So that you can get a seed, it can be fertilized, and something, prosperous will grow. Because, I always said you can never find anything in sand. Because if you do, like, the foundation's going to crack. It's not sturdy.
Well, there's those people that relationship hop from person to person.
And that's usually the people that are like, they're just looking for validation.
Yeah.
And they're never going to find it because they need to find it within themselves. You have to love yourself first.
Yep. You do. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I noticed that, and that's a big red flag for me now because I've been there, done that. And I'm just like, I can't.
You got to love yourself because why would anybody else love you if you don't? And you have to be able to give grace because if you don't give grace, you're not getting grace.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I think a teacher would be nice for you or a social service person because those people are usually kind-hearted people that they're not doing it for the glory.
My brother married a nurse. Mm-hmm. Well, she's now a doctor now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
She's an anesthesiologist assistant.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Yep. And my grandma, my favorite person, one of my favorite people in the whole world, is a retired ER nurse.
Nice.
She's a badass.
Is she still she's still alive?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Very
lucky.
My last grandparent, I lost 3 during COVID. None to COVID.
Oh, cool.
Just during that time.
Because they couldn't go out and get help. Yeah.
Well, they couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. And I understand it because I really have been by myself, So I understand that completely. It's hard to be by yourself and be lonely. You can go some bad places. Yeah, I think that's why I make stuff all the time because, like, I'm constantly busy. Then you're not in your head,
busy and having a creative outlet is great, and I'm glad I have multiple.
Yeah, right now I'm doing a guitar for Tony Carducci, the guitar god. Do you know him?
Yeah, I don't know him, but
he's a great guy. He gives all these people, he gets guitars and gives them to kids that can't afford it. Helps kids with music. He works at Pond Central down on 11th Street in Rock Island. He was at West Music for many years, but he just went there. My friend Jim Young owns it. But he gave me a guitar. I'm decoupaging it for him with dirty magazines. It's going to be superior. It's going to be beautiful. I've been wanting to do it for him for a long time. Nothing too extreme. I like the old 50s and 60s, like erotica.
Risque.
Yeah. There is a magazine called Risque. I'm not going to take anything out of Cat Fighting Cunts, which is something I have. That's hilarious. Tender Shavers.
That's a thing?
The magazine's called Tender Shavers. It was actually a magazine in the 70s.
That's funny.
I have such a collection. That's my son's friends would be like, "Why does your mom have so much porn?" Noble's like, "She's progressive." Porn and bullets for a kid. No wonder he got married and ran away. He's been with his husband since they were 15.
Really?
Yeah, it was all Brokeback Mountain, but I knew,
Yeah, it's all broke.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and I was like, and his
husband more so had to hide it.
His husband's grandfather still doesn't know. Like, the family didn't know till the day that he left for boot camp. That Noble that he'd been going to the Quad Cities to see was his boyfriend.
Ooh.
Yeah, but the family seems to have like embraced my son, which is nice, and they're nice people. You know, so that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'm happy for him. He's happy. He's got 2 cats. He's so excited to get home to his cat.
Oh yeah, I was excited to get home to my cat. Even we were being gone for a couple of days.
You don't want to get your cat a friend?
I've thought about it, but she's not very friendly. You'll meet her.
I'll meet her.
You'll see.
But I'll talk to her.
Yeah. You ask her. She'll tell you.
I'll tell you. Okay.
All right. Well, we should wrap this up. My phone's low on battery.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Suzon for joining me. And
thank you for having me.
We will hopefully next time I'll have an update on her finding me my wife.
Yep. A nice one for your mother.
Yeah.
Actually,
has to be mother approved.
I did have mothers call me all the time that would see me like on TV or something talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'd be like, "Can you find my son or girlfriend?" I'm like, "Well, they gotta wanna find somebody."
Yeah, they gotta want.
I can't say the name, but I had a guy who was like in a major Quad City band. His mother called. And I was like, "Ma'am, I can't do this." And she was like, "He's never gonna find anybody." And I was like, "What do you?" She was offering me a lot of money.
Oh, really?
A lot of money. And I could have really used the money.
Yeah.
But I felt that was really intrusive. You know, that's not what his desire was.
Yeah, if that's not what he
I'm
wants.
not doing it for the money.
Yeah.
You know?